Have you ever been driving late at night, the only car on a long, dark road, with just the Radio 4 company? You scan through the stations. Static. Static. Then a voice cuts through the darkness. For some people in Amarillo, Texas, one of those late-night listening sessions turned into an experience they would never forget. A local legend that still sends shivers down the spine of anyone who hears it. This is the story of the last broadcast. Our story takes place in a small, independent radio station on the outskirts of Amarillo, the kind of place that plays oldies and local news. A comforting voice in the vast Texas night. One evening, a seasoned DJ, let's call him Jack, was hosting his late-night show. It was a quiet shift, just him, the mixing board, and the hum of the equipment. During a commercial break, he noticed a package that had been left at the front desk earlier that day. It was a simple brown envelope with no return address. Inside was a single reel-to-reel tape with a handwritten label that read, "For those still awake." Jack was intrigued. Anonymous submissions weren't unheard of, but this one felt different. There was a strange energy about it. Maybe it was a local band or some amateur comedian. With his curiosity getting the better of him, and with a bit of airtime to fill before his next scheduled song, he decided to take a chance. He queued up the tape, leaned into the microphone, and spoke to his handful of night-owl listeners. "All right, folks," he might have said. "Got a mystery tape here. Let's see what's on it. This is for those still awake." He pressed play. At first, the sound that filled the airwaves was innocent, almost sweet. It was the sound of children laughing, the kind of pure, joyful sound that makes you smile. Listeners across the county, in their cars, their homes, their lonely workplaces, probably smiled too. The laughter was infectious, but then it began to change. The joyful giggles twisted, warped into something else entirely. The laughter became frantic, tenpanic, and then came the screams. The screams were chilling, raw, and full of terror. They were abruptly cut off, replaced by an unnerving, complete silence. Dead air. For a full 30 seconds, the radio station broadcast nothing but silence. Jack sat in his chair, frozen, his hand hovering over the controls. What had he just played? What was taught? Before he could even process it, before he could apologize or explain, something even stranger happened. All at once, across the entire county, every dog started barking, not just a few yaps here and there. It was a deafening, unified chorus of frantic, distressed barking, as if they were all reacting to the same unseen threat. It was a wave of sound that rolled across the Texas plains, a symphony of canine panic. And then, as suddenly as it began, the radio station went silent. Not just the tape, the entire station. It went off the air. Permanently. Concerned listeners started calling the station, but no one answered. They called the police. When officers finally arrived at the Dark Center radio station, they found the studio empty. Jack was gone. The place was deserted, but nothing seemed out of place. No signs of a struggle. Everything was exactly as it should be, except for one thing. The microphone on the DJ's desk, the one Jack had spoken into just minutes before, was still on. It was still live, still recording, and as the officers stood there in the eerie silence of the abandoned studio, they could hear something coming through the monitors. A soft, rhythmic, thumping sound. Faint, but unmistakable. It was the sound of a heartbeat. The tape was never found. Jack was never seen again, and the people of Amarillo who were listening that night still talk about it in hushed tones. What was on that tape? Whose heartbeat was the microphone recording in that empty room? It's a chilling local legend, a ghost story for the modern age, a reminder that sometimes the most terrifying things are the sounds we hear when we're all alone in the dark. Thanks for joining me on this dive into the unexplained. What do you think happened that night? Let me know your theories in the comments below, and if you enjoy stories that keep you up at night, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more mysteries. Stay safe out there, and maybe keep a light on.